This is Dennis with Builder Resources and BuilderAcademy.com. Thanks for tuning into this podcast. The actual page on the Builders Resources website that this podcast comes from contains many links to other pages within the site. If you'd like to explore any topic in greater depth, please go to the page on the website to follow the links. Let's start this discussion with a disclaimer. I'm going to be talking about documents that I use in managing my client relationships. This discussion is presented as a matter of business management. Any action on your part should be discussed with your legal counsel. Builder Resources is not a legal advisor and is not practicing law by discussing the business document. You can go on site and look at our site disclaimer there for any further detail on this. Let's start off with a fundamental truth about running a construction business. You must purposefully control your client relationship. The relationship with your client is too important to leave to chance. You must think through how you want the relationship to be generated. That would be your marketing. How you want it to be nurtured. That would be sales. How you want it to be harvested. That would be production. And how you want it to be terminated. That would be legal. If you have been in business for any time at all, you will have realized that no matter how hard you work at making the client relationship run smoothly, the client-builder interface is not always friendly. Recognizing that, it is important to be prepared for the possibility of problems. Anticipating problems can go a long way to managing the rough spots in the client-builder relationship. With that in mind, the following topics should help you be prepared. Initial client contracts. These are the initial documents that I use for my clients. Initial specifications sets out the assumptions made in preparing the initial and subsequent proposals for a project. Estimating is the process by which your business begins to develop the cost of turning the client's needs and wants and dreams into a reality. Sample construction contracts are samples and discussion of the business implications of some of the contracts I've used in my business. Client Contract Series provides samples of various agreements for the initial stages of work done for a prospective client. That package includes the Schematic Design Agreement, the Design Development Agreement, the Construction Drawing Agreement, the Construction Agreement, Mold Disclaimer and Waiver, and Builder Limited Warranties. All of those documents, the initial specifications, estimating, sample construction contracts, and client contract series can be found in pages on the website. Simply look at the menu at the top of the page, choose the client tab, and go through the drop downs there if you want to find that information. I want to speak today though about the client management documents. These are a set of some of the most important documents I have on the website. The documents define the relationship with the client in a way that will help protect your business in the event of a client from hell. They include the confirmation of instructions, otherwise called the change order, the notice of acceptance, the draw request, delay notice, and restart notice. I'm going to be talking about all of those in just a minute, but there is an alternative to creating all these documents on your own. The PDF and description of the document to be found on the website provides sufficient information for you to replicate the document. However, you may want to consider purchasing the entire client management package consisting of a dashboard with all the important job information entered one time in one place and then distributed to all the other documents, 10 interlinked confirmations of instruction, 4 notices of acceptance, 8 draw requests, a copy of the delay notice, and a copy of the restart notice. All important information is shared between the documents, reducing input error. The package is in Excel format, making it simple to adapt to your needs and easy to install. The entire package is installed into each job, so all the client management documents you need are at your fingertips. And you can get that entire package for just $32. On the Builder Resources website, go to Products on the menu at the top, drop down to Client Relationships, select Client Management Documents, and follow the directions there to purchase the management set. Let's talk now about each of the specific client management documents. Client management documents provide you with the opportunity to predefine your responsibilities with regard to the work that you will be doing for a client. By establishing up front the client financial responsibilities, you will be in a more defensible position when the inevitable misunderstandings arise with your buyers. We would all like to believe that every job will proceed smoothly with all problems easily resolved. The problem with this concept is that we build houses for people. And because we are working with people, there will be problems. Some of the problems will be simple misunderstandings. Some of the problems will be purposeful misrepresentations. Establishing a process for dealing with problems before the problems arise is just good business practice. The following documents should work well for your construction business. The first is the confirmation of instructions. This document replaces the change order. It accurately reflects the reality that any changes from the original contract are at the request of the buyer and provides information relative to those changes. It also enables you to follow the history of changes in materials and changes in dollar value of the construction contract. This feature is critically important when it comes to explaining the chronology of changes to the customer, the lender, or the judge. The notice of acceptance. In my experience, it is best to have several points in the construction process at which the buyer signs off on the work that has been done and agrees that the work meets her expectations. My experience is that these points are at the end of the framing, the drywall, and the finish work, but you can use any milestones that fit your production schedules. Alterations which arise at any of these inspections can be easily accomplished and are easily assigned as changes, client's responsibility, or mistakes, my responsibility. The milestones I use also demonstrate that any changes in framing after the substantial completion of framing notice of acceptance are the responsibility of the buyer. Finally, the notice of acceptance sets the stage for the draw request. If the buyer accepts the framing as complete, she should have no problems paying the framing draw as outlined in the contract. If she balks at signing the notice of acceptance, then I know I have a problem and can deal with it at that time, not when I have spent the entire budget just before the final walkthrough. If I wait to handle problems until the final walkthrough, I have no leverage with the buyer because I'm on the hook for the entire cost and the buyer can just wait me out. The draw request. The draw request follows on the heels of the notice of acceptance. It is based on the payment schedule outlined in the construction contract and bolstered by the fact that the buyer has accepted all the work which has been done prior to the notice of acceptance. The delay notice. The delay notice is used to notify your client that a problem exists that is sufficiently serious that you have stopped production on the project until the problem is resolved. It is important that you provide written notice to the client of your intent and the reason for the delay. Should questions arise in the future regarding the construction schedule, this document will provide the necessary information to substantiate your actions. The restart notice. The restart notice counters the delay notice and indicates that the problem has been resolved and provides a new schedule for production. The restart notice establishes that since the client has resolved the problem, you are back at work on the project. Generally, when we talk about risk management in a small business, we're talking about handling the risks of car accidents or health insurance or job site safety. But these 5 documents establish a risk management procedure for the safety and health of your company. Choose not to use these client management tools at your own peril. If you would like to better manage the relationships with your clients, but don't have the time to spend developing the package that I've been discussing here, you might want to go to our website to the Products tab, Client Relationships, and access that Client Management Documents page. Take a look at the cost of getting this kind of risk management in place at $32 for the entire package. I think you'll find it's a very reasonable price for such a smart idea.